Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back. This is Sheila Texter with B Ministries, where every week or occasionally I get to put out videos on my writing journey, about my preaching, my teaching, ministering. I'm a pastor's wife, I'm an evangelist, I'm a preacher. I write books, I do different things, but my main goal is to pour out to people, encourage them, speak the Word of God into their lives. But today, and if that's something that you would be interested in and following me, just subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, comment on it, and help me get these biblical, encouraging truths out into the world. There's so much negativism and there's so much depression and oppression out there. I believe with all my heart, we as the children of God should be spreading the good news of Christ and not the bad news of the world. Now, I'm not saying go bury your head in the sand and act like ain't nothing going on, but I will tell you this. Our economy don't got nothing to do with the world's economy. God's economy is on a whole different level. It's supernatural. Which with that, I want to bring a word to you today that I shared on my Facebook page this morning. I also shared a live because it was a prophetic word for people that was in my atmosphere or in my sphere of influence, that was my friends on Facebook. It was a word that I felt like God wanted me to give them in a season that is right now. Now this is March of 2023, but if you're watching this in 24, 25, 26, whatever, it's still a word for the hour that you are living in. But the word that God gave me that I prophesied into some people's lives was there is a wealth transfer. There is a wealth transfer that is fixing to take place for those that have positioned themselves in a place of receiving. And when I say position, I don't mean like a job or your position, your title, wherever you are in the church, in a workplace, whether you're a pastor, whether you're a boss, whether you're a CEO. I'm not talking about that kind of position. And I'm not talking about a location neither. You know, where you live out, your town, your state. I'm not talking about that neither. This is a position that you have intentionally put yourself in this position to receive. You've stood on the word, you've decreed the word, you've declared the word, you have wrote the word, you wrote the vision, you've made it plain. You have sowed into people's lives with money, with time, with your physical body. You have put yourself in people's lives. Maybe you didn't have money, but you went there and you gave them your time. You took somebody somewhere. You went to their house. You helped them cook. You took them some food. You mowed their yard. Anything like that. That's sowing seed. It don't always have to be money, but there is people that have sowed money as well. And now this is for everything that you might have sowed, but there is a specific seed with this word that the wealth of the sinner, now this is biblical, the wealth of the sinner is being transferred to the just. And I'm going to read a couple of scriptures here in a minute off of my Facebook post that I put on this morning. But I just want you to know this is a prophetic word for you, whether you're listening to it now in 2023 or even a few years later. If you have sowed the seed, then you have positioned yourself to receive what God wants to give to you. If you've sowed in secret, He's going to reward you openly. Again, this can all be backed up by the Bible. I wouldn't give you 2 cents for a prophetic word that can't be backed up by the Bible. So this is a word that God dealt with me to share on my Facebook page, on Facebook Live, and then to come on my YouTube channel and share it as well. He is transferring wealth. Now, the wealth has been laid up. You know, there is a scripture, it's in Proverbs. I want to read that in just a second so you know that I'm not just blowing out something, into the wind. This is biblical and it's scriptures to back it up. He said that the wealth of the sinner is being laid up for the righteous, for the just. But there comes a time that it needs to be transferred. So the word today for you is, if you've been sowing seed, If you have been sowing abundantly, you're going to reap abundantly. If you've been giving money in secret, you've been praying extra prayer time. That means you've been intentional. You've been setting out a specific time, and you've been pouring into that time. You've been fasting. You've been praying. And you've been doing things behind the scenes and going to people's houses and pouring into their lives. And not posting pictures about it, not telling everybody about it. You do that in secret, and God will reward you openly. That's a whole nother video for things like that, where people post their little pictures, and I'm feeding them, and I'm giving them this, and I'm out handing out to the needy and to the poor, and you're posting pictures about it. Guys, that's not what God intended for us to do. That is not what God intended for us to do. He does want us to feed the poor. He does want us to pour into people, but He don't want you to be bragging about it. You let another man praise you and not ye yourself. Whatever you do in secret, God's going to reward you openly. So I'm just encouraging you today, if you have been sowing into people's lives, God has seen it, and He wants to reward you for it. So the word today is there is a wealth transfer that is taking place for those that have positioned themselves to receive. You've been sowing seed, you've been sowing money, you've been decreeing, you've been declaring, you've been standing on the word, you've been looking for it. You have been looking for it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Now, if you've been cumbered about with all the cares of this life, you've been drunk on the cares of this life, and all you can see is sadness and heartache, and all you can say is complaining and grumbling and mumbling, and you can't see no good, you're probably not going to be on the receiving end of this. So I want to encourage you and challenge you to change your position. Get into the position that you can receive that wealth, whether it be money, blessings, peace, health, divine favor, supernatural provision, whatever it may be. Get yourself out of that bad position and get yourself into a good position. And that you can do that through the Word of God. If you complain, you'll remain. These little things are cliche, but they are so true. If you complain, you'll remain. But if you praise, you can be raised. A praising life is a powerful life. You can't whine and worship at the same time. You can't do both. And whichever one you're doing is going to be relevant in your life. So if you're thinking on the bad, the sad, the poor pitiful me, that's where you're going to be at. So you got to start channeling your thoughts in a different direction. You got to train your thoughts to think differently. You need to start sowing some seed, guys. So if you got a need, sow a seed. If you got a need for something, sow a seed. If you don't have any money, if you've got an oven and you got some flour or you got some cake mix and some icing maybe that's cost you $2, bake it up and go give it to somebody. There's you some seed. It don't have to be money, but it won't be long. You start sowing like that, because I'm going to tell you something, guys. I'm a witness to that. I have did that. I have sowed food. I have baked. I have cooked, and I still do it. I still bake and give, especially around the holidays. And God always gives back. I don't post it on Facebook. I don't take a picture of it and say, I gave 10 of these out today to everybody. No, if I do anything, I might tell people, looky here, God laid it on my heart to bake and to give, and I did this, and look what He did for me. I might share something like that as a testimony, but you'll never find me sharing that, taking pictures of, I gave this to so-and-so. No, that's not God's, that's not the way He works. He don't work like that. He tells you whatever you do in secret, He will reward you openly. So anyway, again, I've been on here almost 10 minutes. Don't want to take a long time. I'm going to download this video and share it on my YouTube channel. But there is a wealth transfer that is taking place for those that have positioned themselves to receive. Sow something, guys. You got to sow some seed. If you're expecting a harvest, you got to sow some seed. It's just like if you people pray that they win the lottery. Well, if you don't play the lottery, you're not going to win the lottery. Now, I don't play the lottery. I don't do those kind of things. My blessings and my stuff comes from God. And we're not even going to go into details on that. But I just want to tell you, you can't be looking for a ship to come in if you have not put anything out. You can't be looking for your bread to come back if you've not cast any bread out. So I challenge you today, sow some seed. If you ain't got money, sow your time. Go and bless somebody. Go visit somebody. Cook somebody something. Go wash their car. Go offer to do something for them for just that day. You can sow seed, guys, and that will come back to you. Be a blessing. Look for someone to bless. Encourage them with your words even. People need to be encouraged. We live in such a time that people need to be encouraged. So be looking for it, guys. If you have done the work, if you have sowed the seed, your harvest is coming. There is a wealth transfer that's fixing to take place from the kingdom of darkness to the kingdom of light. God's not poor. He said the silver is his, the gold is his, the hills is his, the mountains is his, the earth and the fullness thereof all belongs to him. God's not poor. God's not poor, but he uses his people to bless. He uses us as a tool, as a channel to work through. I love you guys. Appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, comment on it, and help me get these biblical good news out there. I'll see y'all later.